Oh, shit. Are my levels okay?
Yeah. Yeah, there's...
Oh!
Yeah, these micro ponies are great, man. All right, are you ready? Hello and welcome to the Get Your NBA podcast. My name's Sean. Joining me today is the one and only Mr. Conti. Mr. Conti, my man, how are we?
Mr. Conti's, God, I've heard that enough today, haven't I?
What with the school?
Oi, 4 on plus a yard duty. Jesus.
4 on plus a yard duty sounds like a bloody basketball starting lineup. That's what we called that, the 4 out offense.
That's really funny.
Thanks.
You know what else is funny? I was thinking before, in the shower, I was thinking about you in the shower, Sean, and I was like, man, this is what it feels like to be Bill Simmons, where you can just put a microphone in front of me and I can say literally anything, and there are like zero repercussions. What I say is not taken seriously by anyone. I need no fundamental like background for what I'm saying. I can actually just talk. And with all that, do you want to hear the take?
Wait, hang on. The take about what?
That's all of that. What I just said is true. Now I've got a take. I've got a Bill Simmons-esque take.
Yeah, go on.
If Hallie didn't injure his hamstring, the Pacers would be in the finals.
They still can't be in the final.
Yeah, but like it would have been guaranteed.
Oh, true. Like if this was 100% Hallie.
Yeah.
It's I was watching this game live. And my heart went out a little bit for you because you act all Bill Simmons and high and mighty. You act like you don't give a damn, but you very publicly renounced your Kings fandom, which is completely fair.
Yeah.
Your whole life you didn't do anything, and then you followed, and it was so fair. You followed Tyrese Haliburton, a player who you drafted, you really loved, and now he's with Indiana, and obviously everything that happened, you got a hat for Christmas, right? If you fully go for him now.
Yeah.
If you were to buy a jersey, you would buy a Haliburton jersey, right? Yeah. And then this is fucking sick. This young team led by a 24-year-old point guard, and he's the point guard everyone loves. Like, 19 points, 11 assists, a couple of steals and shit. And then I'm watching it, and I'm always thinking, like, God, this is like Alessio's, not his last hope, but this is like the thing that he wants, you know? And then he just fumbles the ball in the worst possible way in an overtime against a team we all want him to beat.
He's injured though, so it's okay.
Yeah, I know, but he's getting better. He's very. I was thinking in the shower.
About Hallie or me?
Hallie, yeah. Sorry, I was just thinking this like we'll talk about the conference finals, but this Pacers team, this is exceptional experience for him.
Yeah. The Hawks did nothing with it though, so I don't want to do the whole experience thing.
Yeah, really.
I don't think the experience matters until they're actually back. Yeah. Like the whole thing with the Hawks was like, oh, think about all this experience. It's like, and then what? It doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, it's like everyone got worse. Like DeAndre Hunter, Johns Colin.
Yeah. Like, I mean, the only team that it would
Boston
arguably matter for is is Oklahoma, only because. You can't see them getting as bad as the Hawks run was like miraculous, and this run is like pretty much luck. Whereas the Thunder thing seems real.
But the Hawks was luck. Like
that's what I'm saying. Miraculous, like lucky. Yeah. Like it was a miracle that they got there. Philly shut the bed. The Knicks aren't good.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. So.
And Boston and Milwaukee just killed them. But like, look at this Boston Celtics team. Like, you know, Jason Tatum's been to the conference finals 3 times. This
is the Oklahoma equivalent.
Cool.
Argue.
Like when Jason Tatum's a rookie, he's averaging 16 points next to Kyrie Irving in the playoffs. Like Marcus Smart, obviously. There was the season when they didn't have the Jays, or maybe just one of the Jays, and it was like, oh my God, Marcus Smart's getting it, and they were thinking about tanking and stuff. And I think they actually drafted Aaron Naismith.
Did they go Smart, Brown, Tatum year after year? Or was it Smart, and then there was like that weird James Young year? Where everyone thought, me included, that James Young was going to be the next best shooting guard in like NBA history.
It's because he was like the best 2K player ever as well.
Yeah.
They just, you know how every now and again they make one 2K player just the best? Like the Bradley Beal gene?
He was on that He was on that Kentucky team that just had a bunch of guys that everyone thought was going to be good, and none of them panned out.
No, that was like Devin Booker.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Was he the 3 next to Booker?
Well, Devin Booker was like just a shooter. Just a shooter.
He was JJ Redick.
It was fucking worse. He was Kevon Herter, bro. Like,
Kevon.
they also had they had Cat on that team.
Okay, that was the Cat team. Yeah.
Because
there wasn't the Harrison Twins team.
Oh, who cares?
Well, but that's the team that's the team I'm thinking of.
True. You know, it wasn't. But I was in the building. I've talked about this maybe 10 times across the Deep Dives history. But I was in the building during when Jaren Jackson got drafted by the Memphis Grizzlies. I was in the Memphis Grizzlies stadium, the FedEx Forum, and they had like a few like famous people there. So it was like. It wasn't John Hollinger, but it was like an assistant GM. He was down there. They interviewed him, and it was a little bit like, "What the fuck are you doing here? Like, you've just drafted 4th. You've got like a 31st pick. Like, do your fucking job, man. This is like your busiest day of the year." And then there's 1,000 people in the stadium. Like, no one's there, right? And they're just interviewing these people. And one of them was the Harrison twin that played for the Memphis Grizzlies for a year. Aaron or the other one.
One of them never really made it. I think Aaron got in because he wasn't the point guard. Yeah. Whereas Andrew never got in because he was a point guard, and therefore the threshold to get into the league was so much higher.
Yeah. Also, neither of them could shoot.
Yeah. Why are we talking about the Harrison?
yeah. But my heart was just going out to you. I'm like, fuck, this is so disappointing. But it is great experience. And we're watching the game in the background right now. The Celtics just went on a 12-0 run to start off the game. Very, very young team jitters at the start of this game.
But they went up double digits multiple times during the game.
Yeah.
And then the Pacers always found themselves in it. And then they got in front and then botched it. And after the game, I can't remember what the question was for Jaylen Brown, but they were like, Jaylen Brown said the Pacers were better tonight. And it's like, bro, what planet are you fucking on? What do you mean the Pacers were better? You guys just cooked it at the end and then stumbled into a win, but they weren't better.
Oh, you don't reckon?
No.
I think without
Boston went up 15 twice.
Yeah, but then Jamie, look at the worm up here. There's the Harrison twins. The Pacers did have their own runs, and if you eliminate the end where they just fumbled a 7-point lead, and the very start of the game where everyone's really nervous and it's Naismith has never been this far or whatever, and they're down 12-0. Once you take away that, it was actually a very good game.
Oh right, so once I take away 2 major moments in the game, then
the start and end. I think there's something to that.
The start and end.
But it's just
That's funny. I'll give you the start, but I won't give you the end.
Also, no Porzingis. This team is, and this is going to be the story of the series. There was a report from Adrian Wojnarowski this morning that said that Kristaps Porzingis might return in Game 4. Right? Without him, it's Luke Cornett. Right? Yeah. It's Luke Cornett, and maybe next game is going to be Xavier Tillman, who. Yeah. Was bad when they got him and hasn't played since, right? There is a hole here for the Pacers to really actually make some noise. If they get hot and if they just play like a normal basketball team, they can seriously make a dent in this series.
Miles Turner won't do anything with Porzingis gone though. What's he going to do about it?
No, it's not Miles Turner. It's the guards. It's
Hallie had a good game and whatever.
Fucking Miles Turner. Remember how I really liked him? And then
I remember?
And then you guys were like, "Fuck off!"
No, everyone likes him except me, Sean. Let's not get this twisted. I'm gonna clear the air here. You all think he's good at basketball, and I don't. And it's fine. It's finally coming around. Les was right again.
It's the Joe Mazzulla. Did you just see Miles Turner just go, what the hell? Joe Mazzulla's like, all right, I agree with Alessio. I'm just going to put the smallest player on the floor on him. Look, there's Jay guarding him, right? And sometimes it was Drew Holiday guarding him, and he just can't do it. He's got
nothing. He's got nothing.
If people make fun of LeBron for having no bag, but Miles Turner has no bag whatsoever. Yeah. Even if he's just sprinted the whole length of the court down the middle, and there's just one defender in front of him, he can't do anything. God, and Nemhart just keeps making shots.
Hey, what do you think about start, bench, and cut Dirk, Kevin Garnett, and Giannis?
Man, your Instagram is just disgusting.
That came up today. It's like, I have to ask Sean this one. Start Giannis, bench Dirk, cut KG. Am I crazy?
No. God, I think
like Dirk and KG are pretty interchangeable, but Giannis has to be one.
I think KG has to be above Dirk.
Oh, okay.
Just for, again, one of these fucking stupid Alessio's Instagram hypotheticals. Like, what are we talking about? Like, is it modern era? Because if it's modern era, then KG is like a switchy 4-5, right? And if it's modern era, then Dirk is like, if you actually can't defend, then you're Demontis Sabonis.
But in early 2000s, Dirk could get away with murder, and then he was so much better on offense.
Yeah, because he was going against like a centre and David West.
Yeah.
So I think because of that, Dirk's got to go at the bottom.
Yeah, and so like Celtics in 5. Celtics in 5, and then
to loop back around. Is that your prediction? Celtics in 5?
Nah, they don't have any mindset, so it'll be like 6.
I think Celtics and 6 is like that's the opinion. That's like the consensus, I think. But I'm willing to say Celtics in 7. Like once you get to a game 7, like if you shoot it well. There was also a really funny X, formerly known as Twitter, where this dude was like, the Jays will like finish a game and they'll go into the press conference and they'll be like, man, like we're putting this city on our backs, like building our legacy. It's like my brother in Christ, you're getting guarded by Obadiah Toppin and TJ McConnell. Who TJ McConnell's like, Leandro and I were talking about this. We got a live studio audience today with Leandro Conte. We were talking about it yesterday. Like TJ McConnell is such a good playoff player. Yeah,
like, do you want my TJ McConnell
impersonation or take?
No, it's I guess you could call it a take. It's like a reference. There's a big thing on casual Instagram, basketball Instagram at the moment, where it's like, Anthony Edwards is the Kobe Bryant of Michael Jordan's or whatever. Like player X is the player Y of player Z.
Tobias Harris is the LeBron James of El Farouk Aminu's.
Yeah, exactly that. So my thing is, TJ McConnell is the Peyton Pritchard of Peyton Pritchards. As in, he's actually what people think Peyton Pritchard is, relative to what Peyton Pritchard actually is. That's what TJ McConnell is.
El Farouk Aminu's on the head because someone tweeted and was like, man, you can make like a highlight clip for any end of the bench player and he'll look like LeBron James, right? So then someone put together an El Farouk Aminu highlight clip, and then someone's like, you left out his Twitter highlights. And then El Farouk Aminu tweeted in like 2010 that was like, shout out to all my guys, like having a wank so they can go to sleep, ... lol. What the fuck?
Oh my god. I hope he's okay.
Yeah, if he's a millionaire, he'll be fine.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
True. Yeah, that's if school taught me anything. Rick Carlisle, before we move on, very good coach and very good chessman, very good at moving the pieces around because he's clearly got an inferior roster in pretty much every series he's played here. Now, obviously, there was no Giannis and there's no Julius Randle and Bogdanovic and 12 other Knicks, right? But I think he's done a really good job at just shuffling through and finding the right pieces by the end of the series. In the Knicks series, he lent a lot on Isaiah Jackson, sometimes ahead of Miles Turner, just saying, just get a big body out there and just you can actually dunk the ball. You're not afraid of getting a smaller person on you. This game, at least, this is what we saw with no Porzingis out there. It was if Miles Turner's not out there, and sometimes if he is, they're playing Obi Toppin at the 5, which is like pretty crazy that they're getting away with that. And that, again, the Jays aren't punishing it, where it's like, this is a dude who cannot move very quick. You should be able to get around him. And then I talked about this with Luke a couple of weeks ago. I don't know what the mix is in terms of like playing the 3 point guards all at once. That's Hallie, TJ, and Nembhard. But then, like, you look at his other option, it's like, okay, it is Ben Shepherd, which is like, Ben Shepherd's a shooting guard who can't really shoot, and he might not be a good defender. He's like 3 and D, but he's just the end.
Just the D.
And like the fact that we're saying Pacers are going to push this to 6 games, I think is a little bit of a credit as well to Rick Carlisle was pushing the right buttons. And also, like if it doesn't work, he can uncork Isaiah Jackson again, but then he can also uncork Jalen Smith, who's fully healthy. And that's another little pressure point that he can throw out there that I'd like to see him do, especially when it's like the dude who he's going to have to guard on the other end, like directly, is Luke Cornett. So it's like you can probably get away with that and see if he makes his shots. And with the Pacers, like if they get hot, they're just going to win that game.
You have such a you just have such a positive outlook on things, Sean. It's so good. I think it's because like Boston sucks. It's like the opposite, right? Where it's like Missoula doesn't know how to coach still, and he's got like the best roster in the NBA, but none of them have the mentality to do literally anything positive for longer than like 5-minute stretches. And if those 5-minute stretches align, then they win a game, but they never align, and therefore whatever. The 64 wins because their conference is the worst it's been in like...
Yeah, since Michael Jordan.
10 years or whatever.
Famous 10 years ago that Michael Jordan retired.
Nah, it was 10 years since the Kemba Walker Hornets was like 7 wins or something.
I believe you're referencing the Miami
wins?
Heat, LeBron James, not the Kemba Walker Hornets.
I'm talking about how bad the Hornets were for the conference. Oh, get out of here. I don't know. Yeah, Rick Carlisle's great. But
you just
much more cynical. Like the Pacers are look, it can't all be luck, but God, that Knicks team was ravaged.
Yeah,
and this Boston team should be sweeping, and they're like refusing to do it. They should have swept the Heat.
Yeah,
did they play last series?
Far out. Yeah, Cleveland.
Yeah, they should have swept Cleveland.
But shit like that, where it's like, what are we like? Yeah. You've just played Cleveland with Darius Garland on an off year, and no Jared Allen.
Won like 2 games of Mitchell.
Yeah. And you had no Zinger.
Allen and Mobley's bad.
And you had no Zinger.
Mobley's not bad. He's just got nothing.
Yeah.
So I like some credit to Rick Carlisle. Like you got a player who's in front of you, and I think it's a bit of like the Essendon Bombers thing, where it's like to our Essendon Bombers listeners out there, I'm still not sure the Bombers are good at footy. I just think they've caught every team in front of them at the exact right time. And so the 2 ways the conversation goes are like, are they lucky or are they? You still got to beat the team in front of you. It's like, well, it's probably both, and also they're probably still bad. And this Pacers team is like that team. Yeah.
All right, let's big exhale after hating. Let's move on to the West. Dallas, Minnesota. One of these teams is going to be in the NBA Finals, which just seems very strange, but also very cool. Dallas came away with a very mature, sort of veteran win today, I would call it. What are your thoughts on Dallas beating Mini in Game 1?
Yeah, I mean, like it looks like a mini win. I don't know how Dallas won it.
Yeah. Just a lot of bullshit from the backcourt.
Yeah, and like, God, like it's boring.
You really reckon it's boring?
I used to like the James Harden, like one man on the ball stuff. It's actually like as boring as shit now.
Damn.
After watching the Olympics and stuff, or you watch like EuroLeague highlights, and you're like, oh, they know how to pass.
Yeah.
They know how to pass and move. That's crazy.
Yeah, like
and the fact that you can win against the best defense in the NBA because you've got 2 blokes that can like hit
insane shots,
hit ISOs. It just feels so like
reductive.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm the opposite of a traditionalist. I would argue in like many facets of my basketball viewing / general life. But bring back the olden days where they used to bloody pass and move. Like where's the Spurs ball? This sucks. It's so boring.
Yeah, but to put the positive spin on it, I also like that. Like you've got Curry and Luka, who everyone knows that they're the 2 guys who are dribbling. They're the 2 guys who are just going to like try and break the paint, and then they'll go in and it'll be like, okay, have we got 2 bigs on us, or have we got a big and a guard, or 2 small people, right? And then each time they go down, Luka is hyper analytical, and he comes down. Also, Ben Shepherd, great mustache. Not enough mustaches in the NBA. But Luka Doncic comes down, and then he's like, okay, cool. doing this. If I just like dribble for just like a split second longer, Rudy's going to take one step towards me, and bang, that's a lob to Gafford, right? And it's I just find it so interesting and so chess matchy, where it's like, okay, you've got this, you've just got this guy who's just doing simulations pretty much. He's doing simulations in the pick and roll, and he's just watching every single split movement by the best defensive player in the game, and every single step that guy takes, he's going to say, okay, it's either going to be a step back into a pull-up over one of the best wing defenders in the world, or it's going to be like putting your body into Rudy Gobert to try and put a shot up over that, or it's going to be a lob or a kick out. And it's, I get that it might be quite repetitive.
Are they not just like the redux of the Rockets team?
But they've got worse shooters.
Yeah, they're just a shitty rehash, except Luke is better than Harden.
Yeah,
and even then, like that Harden was like obviously.
Yeah. Instead of Ryan Anderson, it's Derrick Jones Jr.
Well,
stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But they might get away with it. So the issue that the reason that I went this way is because, if Luka and Kyrie are missing their jumpers, then it's basically an automatic loss.
Yeah.
And if they're hitting their jumpers, they might win.
Yeah.
Not they will win.
Yeah.
They might win. And that's such... I don't want to call it unsustainable. Obviously, it's literally the definition of unsustainable. But it's also so... God, I don't know. Denver was the best team. I hate that I have to use past tense there, but because they're actually just the best at basketball, and then the Timberwolves beat them by being better at basketball.
Yeah.
And now you're telling me that the Timberwolves might lose to this
a team that is less
to like
skilled.
a statistical error, to a run the numbers and hope that it pans out.
Yeah,
and it'll hit 3 out of 10 times type thing. I think it's annoying. Annoying.
It's a bit frustrating. It'd be cool if this was the Denver series right now, right?
Absolutely.
These conference finals. But then it also explains like why the Mavs have never had like massive playoff success, and that's why regular season success. Like they're always in like the mid-50s. I don't think we'll ever see a Luka Doncic team just run away at 63 wins, right?
Yeah.
Because like they'll play the San Antonio Spurs, worst team in the league, and then they'll win by 2, and it's like, fuck, Luka Magic, like he gritted out 27 points and they won. Or they'll play the best team in the league and they'll grit it out, Luka Doncic 27 points and they won. And they'll win by less than 10 points every single time because they're just running those simulations over and over and over again. And then when both of those guys sit, or maybe one of those guys sits and they're trying to get a rest for him, they bring out Jaden Hardy, and he just does the same thing.
Yeah.
Because they're just obviously trying to grow this guy who, because their system works that way, just have this third guard who comes in and can just run those same simulations but worse. It's interesting. But also, from where they were, where they pushed their chips in to get Kristaps Porzingis, it didn't work.
Yeah.
And then they were like, fuck, we actually don't have the assets to go out and get a Paul George. Hey, let's trade for this guy because he's super cheap, because he said a lot of really anti-Semitic things.
Yeah.
Let's trade for this guy who's really good at basketball but really bad outside of basketball. And that's just the team that they have now. And now, as soon as they get a pick, there's like, cool, trade for PJ Washington, trade for Daniel Gafford. Let's just keep restocking the coffers of just role players, so that these 2 guys that we have, the 2 guys that we're stuck with, are going to be the guys that, are the straw that stirs the drink just forever.
Man, I hate the fact that Mark Cuban might get a championship ring because Kyrie Irving decided to put a lid on it for 6 months. That's such a bullshit reason for that guy, that douchebag, to get another ring, because the other douchebag was like, maybe I'll stop talking for a couple of minutes. And
and I've said it before, and it's like, oh man, how good, he just put a lid on it. Putting a lid on being a horrible person.
Yeah.
Which is, shouldn't go without saying. But something else that I saw, the Minnesota Timberwolves just came out of one of the toughest series that we've seen in recent memory, and the whistle in the playoffs is also just a lot different to what we've seen in the past. And Rudy Gobert and Karl Towns have gone from just whacking bodies into bodies against Nikola Jokic for 48 minutes. Now they're going into this next series, and the Dallas Mavericks I saw were not sort of ready for prime time. And there were a few screens that Rudy Gobert set on Daniel Gafford and on Derek Lively where they immediately looked at the ref and were like, that was a massive foul, and the ref's like, no, you actually just came off a series playing against Chet Holmgren, and Jalen Williams was the 4 because they just couldn't get enough rebounds.
Yeah.
So it's that was an interesting little thing. We just put the game on now, so our Patreon viewers can watch in the background. But if you look at Gafford right now, every single time Gafford goes for a rebound, he's not getting anywhere, and Rudy is just fucking deleting him out of the rebound. Also, Tony Edwards, for most of the second half / all the fourth quarter, he was slightly limping, like he was favouring one leg, definitely, which was, you want everyone to be at full strength.
Especially him.
Yeah, and Mike Conley was questionable heading into game 1 with, it's that word that starts with S that just means your shoulder, but it's like Scorpa.
Scorpa, the card game?
Yeah, Scorpa, the card game.
Wow.
No, he had that shoulder thing again, so hopefully he doesn't miss any minutes at all, because they fell the freak apart when he missed a game.
Tony was just shooting a bunch of threes, so it's because you think he couldn't do anything else?
Nah, yeah.
He shot 12 of his 16 attempts with threes.
Yeah, it wasn't good. He was very limited at the end of the game, which sucks.
Yeah.
There were some strong pull-ups early in the game, which hopefully we get to see on, because when he pulls up, it's fucking sick. Maybe we'll do it right now. Great radio. We're just sitting here watching a silent game saying, hey, pull up. That's all my notes.
Yeah, I mean, my notes too. If the Wolves are healthy, they should win.
Yeah. Well, actually, yeah. What's your prediction? Like, who are you going for? What's in how many? There's one of those pull-offs.
I'm gonna assume that the Wolves will be healthy and that they'll win in 7.
Right. And who do you want to win? Who are you rooting for?
Indiana. I don't know. I really, really don't like Mark Cuban and Kyrie Irving, but Luka's really good. And it would be nice to see him win one.
Yeah.
And then Anthony Edwards also is a douchebag.
It'd be nice to see Luka Doncic win one in the same vein as Giannis, where it's like, everyone just doesn't talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, let's just get on with basketball.
Yeah, but Kyrie's on the team. And Cuban's the owner and Kid's the coach. I think I by default have to say the Wolves, but I honestly couldn't care less about either of these teams. Like, no one on these teams outside of Luka makes me go like, this guy needs one for his career. Yeah. Maybe Mike Conley, but like, who cares?
Yeah.
With all due respect to Michael.
I didn't even think about the Mike Conley element. It would be nice to see him win one, but I'm rooting for Dallas for the first time in my life. It's actually really fun to not root for to root for Luka for when he just like by force of will does something good. That was a really nice pass.
Right, so you're anti-Semitic, misogynist, and whatever else Mark Cuban is. That's good to know, listener. Take that into account when you're deciding on who you prefer. I can't
root for Kat, Rudy, and Tony Edwards.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. But the opposite end of the spectrum is Cuban, Kidd, and Irving.
Yeah, look.
And like, one is basketball reasons, and the other is not basketball reasons. And if basketball reasons outweighs it,
it's going to be interesting seeing either of these teams in the NBA Finals. My prediction, and we've obviously got the luck of having having a game in the bag. My prediction heading in was going to be Mini winning. But assuming everyone's healthy, I kind of like Dallas, but for the same reason they're not going to win a lot of games in the playoffs, it's got to be like in 7 and a combined scoring difference of like 4 points. Yeah, which is cool. It's good for basketball. Like, this is what are your thoughts on this is the basketball that Adam Silver has shaped. Like, Adam Silver has flattened the lottery odds. We're now going to crown the 6th different champion in 6 years, and the second apron is obviously like making its impact, and we're not seeing any super teams, and there's none on the horizon. What are your thoughts on Adam Silver's NBA? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think like technically it's good, but not I mean, like, all right, I'll say it's good.
Mm.
I don't think the lottery odds have anything to do with it. It would be more of a tax thing. It's also like the second most profitable league to own in.
What's number one?
Well, wouldn't it be like the top end of the soccer?
Oh yeah, but, I mean, I don't know the answer. It's not football,
and if not the NFL, the NFL is like super profitable to own.
Yeah.
But like these teams are all selling for billions of dollars, and so it's worth just spending a bunch of money to keep them good. And it also, this is coinciding with the era of three superstar teams transitioning into two superstar teams. Yeah, as in like two person.
Yeah.
So like Adam Silver's NBA because the lottery odds, not really. I think like taxes plus the fact that the NBA is more popular than it's ever been, and so owners are gonna like be more willing to splash. Plus the splashing has been successful in the past, and so you make trades like the Gobert trade, and the Denver thing was like super organic. The Luka thing's pretty splashy when you think about it. Like you mentioned it before. Who else? Boston's organic.
Yeah.
Indiana is lucky.
But also organic.
The Knicks, technically organic. But also technically lucky because the conference sucks. It's flattened because the top end isn't as strong, and so everyone is now the top end.
Yeah.
Now the top end is like all of the teams. And like so, and like that was probably the point, and so then it's good, and that's great.
Yeah. Like the tier 1 contenders are like 5 deep as opposed to 2 deep.
Yeah.
5 maybe like up to 8 or something.
Yeah.
And like none of us would have had Dallas in our tier 1 contenders, but here they are, all Indiana. You know what I mean?
All Minnesota.
Yeah. It is shocking. Also, see the guy in the orange jumpsuit?
Yeah, who is it?
Yeah, that's
Archie Goodwin.
That's Deshaun Nix.
Oh.
He was the point guard for the G League Ignite a couple of years ago.
Wait, Deshaun Nix?
Yeah.
You go. That was a call out to Lucas.
That was so funny. And every single time a Minnesota Timberwolf hits the three, he's always standing up and he points the 3-gun right at the defender.
Oh, God.
But he's been in the street clothes for most of the year.
Yeah.
I was like...
Bit of Ja Morant to that.
Bit of Ja Morant, but Ja Morant at least is an all-star.
Yeah.
And has scored more than like 10 points in his career.
Yeah.
Also, like... Good money if you can get it. Like,
oh man,
all right, let's
Who the
move
hell's
on.
That?
That's Micah Nori. So you know how Chris Finch tore?
Oh, because he can't walk.
Because he can't walk.
Yeah.
So Chris Finch is there.
He just sits there.
Yeah.
And Prigioni. Oh my god.
Chris Finch gets up every now and again with no crutches, just to yell at the refs.
Hey, what's
I would run in if I was a player. I would run right into him. Go for a loose ball.
Yeah, nice.
And just like maybe even clock one right in the fucking cheek.
Nah, clock one in the leg.
No, you're already hitting his leg. We're assuming that. I'm saying get a second one.
I like this. I'm not normally one for physical violence, but
really?
I think I'm into it.
I'm
not a big physical violence guy.
Me, love it.
Yeah.
If I was a basketball player, I would when you do those jump into the stands to like save the ball and stuff. Also, that's Glenn Taylor next to the Wolves bench.
Okay.
On the other side is the new owners / not new owners. They're not sitting on the same side of the court.
Of course not.
Fucking so weird. Like, all this is great on basketball, and then these 2 billionaires can't decide. Anyway, I would love to just run into a loose ball and just absolutely clean up a couple of rows of fucking Tech Bros or Warriors game.
Yeah.
How good.
Yeah. Well, they've turned San Francisco to shit. So
not even that. Just the that was a nice pass.
Do you want the Lakers to hire JJ Redick and then for him to flop?
It's so stupid. And Rich Paul came out and was like, "Oh, LeBron, he doesn't have any say in the front office. Like, LeBron has no sway." It's like LeBron's had sway his whole fucking life, and now that it's extremely obvious that his podcast co-host is going to be the coach, now he's like, "Oh no, I don't." Shut up, man. Like, JJ Redick is not a head coaching candidate, and you've done fucking 10 episodes with him, and all of a sudden he's...
And if he is, it's for Charlotte. It's not for the Lakers.
Yeah. It's a developmental coach. Like, what the fuck is he gonna bring to? Like, what's the Lakers need? The Lakers need a figurehead who can maybe put his foot down every now and again. Not a fucking developmental, like the other...
Don't tell that to a couple of members of the Deep to NBA podcast who always tell him that JJ Redick's the only person in human history that's ever told it straight to LeBron. Good luck telling it straight to him when he's the only good player in your fucking roster and you need him to like do shit for you.
Yeah, it's...
and if he does do that, then you'll lose him.
And then you don't have a podcast.
And then... Well, you don't have a podcast and you don't have fucking LeBron.
Yeah.
So,
what do you think about them hiring JJ?
I hope they hire him and it fails and he gets fired and then someone shoots him into the fucking sun. He's so annoying.
JJ or LeBron?
JJ.
Oh.
JJ. No, I like LeBron. He's right.
Yeah.
Cringe, but he's good.
Yeah.
Best basketball player ever.
Yeah. Should we talk about the All-NBA teams, but not for long?
God, I've been hanging for it. I love the All-NBA teams.
First team All-NBA, Jokic, Doncic, Kotovic, son of a bitch, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Giannis and Jason Tatum.
No Embiid.
He didn't play 65 games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Lol.
Second team, Jalen Brunson, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, Tony Edwards, and Kawhi Leonard. Third team, Devin Booker, Stephen Curry, Tyrese Halliburton, LeBron James, and DeMontis Sabonis. Yeah, Anthony Davis above LeBron James.
Yeah, that's got to be.
And no positions. Like,
yeah, well, how did that happen? Because LeBron's better.
Yeah.
And the reason for more of their wins.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point of these awards.
Yeah, who's the best player? Like, that was weird. It was actually
This like people feared Jordan, and that's why he's the best. And like people don't fear LeBron, and the media doesn't respect him, and that's why he's less good.
What are you saying? Is this your Instagram?
No, I'm getting there. It is Instagram, yes, but I think it's like counterintuitive, right? Where they say. Like, people feared Jordan, that's why he was the best.
Yeah.
But no one fears LeBron. The media's happy to talk shit about LeBron.
Yeah.
No one talked shit about Jordan. People would, like, step on the court and they'd be willing to, like, go against LeBron. It's like, well, if people feared him, then that doesn't make him the best because then people weren't, like, playing to their full potential against him. Whereas LeBron was actually, like, having to fight up the mountain.
Yeah.
And I think this is, like, so to tie all of that back in... Like, so people are going to vote him third team because they're sick of him being fucking good. And so they'll put Anthony Davis in there, who everyone hates as well. Like, I don't get people still think Anthony Davis is the kid coming out of Kentucky, apparently, because that little, the unibrow, the 19-year-old unibrow on that USA roster.
Beware the brow, yeah. He does get a bit of an easy run. Anthony.
Oh yeah,
that's Tony Dave.
Tony Dave.
Who missed out? Bam Adebayo, Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, Rudy Gobert, Victor Wembanyama, and De'Aaron Fox. I mean, this the positionless basketball is great. We're not getting any DeAndre Jordan first team All NBA center. I like all these teams, and like I think we said off air, it's like there's no problems with it, right? Like
I think the first team's objectively correct.
Yeah.
And the second team... you can't take Brunson off it.
No, but once you delete all the guys who didn't play 65 games, like, Jimmy Butler, not these good regular season player, but Jimmy Butler, Kyrie Irving, Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah.
As soon as you delete all the 65 games, it's like, oh, okay, so the snubs are, people who probably don't deserve to be there.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Like Steph had a down year. He wasn't better than Brunson. Durant's better than Booker. Hallie was good until he got hurt, so that's why he's on the third team instead of the second.
Yeah.
Davis over LeBron's wrong. Kawhi, was Kawhi that good?
No, did he play 65?
Yeah,
he fully did.
And then Sabonis instead of Fox. Like, was Sabonis better than Fox?
I mean, I don't care about which King's in there, but my thing is Sabonis ahead of Rudy Gobert, because if you're going to give Rudy Gobert Defensive Player of the Year and be like, oh, this team was the 1 seed in the West, why are we giving the what were you, like the 8 seed or the 9 seed in the West?
9.
Why are we giving the 9 seed who can't defend? And I low-key was kind of waiting for like a Brandon Podziemski vote, but there wasn't. I looked through the votes.
No, only for the defensive teams.
I think DeMar DeRozan got one single vote.
For the All-NBA?
Yeah, one single third team. I love those, like...
Was it by a Chicago media personality?
But I love those, like, the very bottom, where it's like, oh, you know, what's going on here? Okay, we got DeMar DeRozan one vote, you know, the Brandon Podziemskis and stuff. Luka Doncic and Shea made the first team.
Yep.
Which means that they are now eligible for the Supermax, and Supermax, as the cap keeps going up, Bobby Marks predicted that the Supermax that they sign will be 5 years, $346 million. And as that scales up, when both those players, if they were to sign this deal, which would be a great financial decision, their final year of that deal would be around $78 million in a single season. And by then, the salary cap for the team will be just above maybe around $200 million. So that, you know, that makes it a little easier.
But that's like they can go however far over for taxes and stuff.
Yeah. But just like right now, like, you know, Booker's making 50 and the salary cap's 146 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But Beal's making 50. But yeah, so nearly $80 million in a single year. And if both of these players sign this extension and then we fast forward 5 years, by the time that 5 years is over, both Shea and Luka would have made nearly $500 million in their career. And they'll be 32, 33.
Yeah, they'll get another massive contract. Yeah, this like... When does it stop growing? Because it has to stop.
Well, yeah,
we can't produce enough as a globe to keep up with the growth rate.
Yeah.
So, like...
Well, the fucking app can't keep up.
The app sucks. Everything sucks.
Yeah, well, when's the growth going to stop? Like, obviously,
it has to stop.
Obviously, inflation, but this is growing way further than inflation. Was there like a...
further than inflation.
There must have been a period for like 20 years there where the cap went up like $1 or $2 million a year.
I still remember when Kent Bazemore signed a 4-year 72 and people were like, holy shit, how the fuck did Kent Bazemore get 4 years, $72 million? And now Luka's going to get that in it. And like, obviously they're different players.
Yeah.
And it's 10 years later, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But that is way too much growth for 10 years.
Well, Clay Bennett didn't want to pay the tax.
Who's
then
that?
The owner of the Oklahoma City Thunder, and then said, hey, we need to trade either Serge Ibaka or James Harden.
Yeah.
The deal that James Harden was going to sign was like 3 for $50 million.
Yeah.
And he was like, fuck that. It's like, bro, just wait a couple of years and it's actually going to explode and, you know, that's going to be nothing.
Yeah, now he has to pay Shea $80
million. Steph signed 4 for 44 around the same time and people were like, too much money. And then the cap went up and then we obviously signed Kevin Durant because it just exploded well beyond that. Fucking insane.
Yeah, it's very poorly... It's a real blight on society, I would argue.
It doesn't seem sustainable.
No. I mean, like,
it's not going to go down.
Yeah, and like I'm sure they're planning for it and stuff, but too much.
Too much. What, throwing it off your centre's back and
too much. We went on an excursion the other day to a food rescue charity, and like we helped donate meals and stuff. And they were like, a few of the students were like, "Wait, so we're paying them?" And then we have to work for them. And I was like, that's how charities work, firstly. Secondly, your favourite sports person is getting paid $40 million. And if he decided to fucking pay 50,000 of that, he could run this place for like a month. And this place donates so many meals that it has to rescue food, blah, blah, blah. It's like, what are we talking about?
Yeah, and there's the NBA care stuff, but like, it's just got to be a PR move. Like,
absolutely.
Like, how much? I mean,
Rio Tinto put $2 billion into sustainable practices and wind farms on their mines. And it's like, they profited how much?
But fuck, the press release looks so good.
So good. So NBA cares. NBA doesn't care. NBA cares is to build.
That's your catchphrase, I reckon. The hater Alessio. NBA cares. The NBA doesn't care.
Yeah. NBA cares is to get Joel Embiid out of EuroLeague and into the NBA. That's what NBA cares is for.
No, that's NBA Africa, brother.
Okay, all right, yeah.
There's the Luke Rashad and Baramute going to
You're correct, yes.
Fuck yeah. Say it again.
Yeah. I saw what I said.
I like that as your catchphrase. NBA cares. No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
But it's also, I mean, I enjoy watching basketball.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's sick. Deshaun Nix, fucking let him have it.
Oh, God. Poor guy.
If we ever play basketball again together, I'm doing that if I'm on the bench.
Yeah.
I'm just getting into a squat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, love your energy. So, Celtics win it all?
It's looking that way, but whoever comes out of the West, I'll be rooting for him. I said this.
God, I so reluctantly agree.
I said this last week. Like, I don't want the Knicks to win, and then even more than them, I don't want the Celtics to win.
Yeah, but the Mavs suck. They're so shitty.
Yeah,
they're so sucky.
It'd be good if the
product and then the franchise.
It'd be good if the Wolves win. Just because I want every team to have a title.
Oh, really?
Just, it's
that's like, so nice of you.
It's like, Boston's got fucking 16 of them. Oh, okay. Well, the Charlotte Hornets haven't been to the conference final, like shit like that. Yeah, that's the Australian flag on the back of this Australian continent. God, what's
Luke,
this
you
guy
got to
got
give
to
your
say?
teammate a high five there. Can't be yelling at them and then not giving them a high five.
Yeah. Also, I fully forgot this, but they brought in Markieff Morris just to be goon.
Yeah.
So as soon as Luke is complaining, Markieff Morris, because he doesn't play minutes, sprints right out to him, and it's just like, the ref's a fucking piece of shit. Fuck that. Come over here, brother. He's just like an assistant coach. He's got a number. There was an article on The Athletic. They're called the OGs. So it's like the Udonis Haslam's and stuff.
Yeah.
And if you
James Johnson, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. How cool is James Johnson on the Pacers?
Cool? I'm not sure that's the word I'd use.
No, it's cool because it's just like, oh, you've got this team of young dudes who are petrified. We'll just get in James Johnson, the dude that the Athletic did a survey of like, who do you not want to start a fight with, and number one was James Johnson.
Yeah, of course. But doesn't he roll?
I don't know.
Does in like jiu-jitsu?
Oh,
he's like a fighter. He fights.
Right. I thought he was just because he'd been in fights. Because remember, in his prime, like with the Heat, he was like fucking. He was whacking cunts.
Nah, I think no one wants to fight him because he knows how to fight.
He actually, He's not like Serge Ibaka when he pushes a little fist towards your face.
God, speaking of no bag, that was bad.
Yeah. Not good.
It's for all the Patreon viewers, obviously.
Yeah, so I reckon we're at the end of the bloody podcast.
Yeah, Celts have to win it all. They really
eventually,
have to.
Yeah. Well,
they really, really have to.
If they lose to the Pacers, fucking blow it up. Get some picks.
You can't though. They're in the conference final.
Yeah, no. It would just be so disappointing for the Jays to come away with nothing when this is handed to them.
Oh my god!
Like, you're getting an injured Cavs team. Obviously, you're the 1 seed, so you get an easy team in the first round.
Injured Pacers, injured Heat.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
All right, well,
it's a horrible time to be a basketball fan.
It's a great time. Unless, thanks for coming on the pod, mate. I will speak to you next time.
Hope you enjoy it.
This episode of The Deep 2 is presented by Gelateria Bico, the official gelato of The Deep 2. Gelateria Bico, handmade gelato in the heart of Brunswick.
You want to talk WNBA? Maybe some WNBL? Australian Opals chat? Heck, even dabble in some EuroLeague? Find the W Basketball Show on the Deep 2 Podcast Network.